My number 2 of all time. You had her at number 4. I have her at number 2, Cynthia Cooper. What can you say about Coop, man? This lady played into her 40s, and she played at a high level. 2-time MVP of the WNBA, 4-time champ, 4-time finals MVP, won 2 national championships in college at University of Southern California. Cynthia Cooper, pioneer in the women's game. You know, she was on that Houston Comets team that dominated the early years of the WNBA, brought the WNBA to the national attention. And Cynthia Cooper, again, man, she loved basketball, man. I mean, you had to love basketball. You're in your 40s and you're still playing. And, you know, she is definitely, when I think of women's basketball, especially at the professional level, WNBA, I think of Cynthia Cooper and those Houston Comet teams. So Cynthia Cooper, number 2 on my all-time women's basketball player list.
Number 1. And the woman with the esteemed privilege.
You know, I think it's number 1 for both of us. I'm not even going to give my number 1. I'm going to let you say it.
Of being number 1 this week, unanimously, on the All Things Sport Top 5 women's basketball players of all time, Brittany Griner.
Hell no.
I'm just joshing you. I'm just joshing you.
I'm sorry, Brittany. I didn't mean to curse. I didn't mean to curse. I didn't mean to curse, Brittany. But they caught me off guard. Now, you can play, but your book is still being written. Don't disrespect the great. Let's say it together. Cheryl Miller. Yeah, don't disrespect her.
There was a time where her brother, Reggie Miller, was not even the best basketball player in his home because Cheryl Miller also took residence there. Cheryl Miller is without a doubt, if there would have been a WNBA back in her day, she would have dominated. Her collegiate career at the University of Southern California, she left as number 1 in all of the major statistical categories. In points, she had over 3,000 points, over 1,500 rebounds. She had over 1,100 field goals made, 700 free throws, played in 128 games, had 462 steals. She had a record in assists at 414, which has since been passed since she left. And then her blocks record was toppled by Lisa Leslie. So she did it at both ends of the floor at a high level, the very highest level. International fame with the U.S. National team, bringing home several gold medals. What else can you say about the great Cheryl Miller?
Yeah, Cheryl Miller, she was my number 1 as well, Pierre, 2-time NCAA champ at USC. Every Hall of Fame that there is, she's in it. The Basketball Hall of Fame, the Women's Hall of Fame, the FIBA Hall of Fame. Cheryl Miller is in those Hall of Fames, man, and great player. 32 points, 15 rebounds per game her senior year in high school. That same senior year, man, she scored 105 points versus North Vista High School, man. Sure could play, man. And again, teammate of my number 2 all-time player, Cynthia Cooper. That's what makes Cynthia Cooper so great. They were teammates, and Cynthia Cooper was playing into her 40s. Cheryl Miller wasn't able to play that long because of injuries, but while she played, she dominated the women's game. And I apologize to anyone who I didn't mention. I had some honorable mentions. You know, I had Lisa Leslie. She was, I wanted to put her at number 5, but I wanted to put her at number 5, but I wanted to have someone new. That's why I put Maya Moore in there. I also love Nancy Lieberman-Klein. Didn't see her play. I did see highlights. She was a great player. One of my favorite players of all time in college was Simone Augustus. I love Simone Augustus.
Yeah, she could play.
She could play. Simone Augustus could play. She didn't make my top 5, but she definitely can play. It's a lot of great players in the game of women's basketball. They play below the rim.
Sue Bird.
Yeah, Sue Bird could play, and she's very easy on the eyes as well. Yeah, a lot of great players in the women's game. They play below the rim, but they still can play. And, our consensus number 1, though, Pierre, Cheryl Miller. We both had Cheryl Miller as number 1.
I mean, 3-time Naismith College Player of the Year. 3 times she was the player of the year in college basketball.
Probably should have been 4.
Cheryl Miller was such a phenom. She's someone who really transcended the game. I'm sorry, Reggie, But again, she was the best basketball player in the Miller household.
Yeah, Cheryl Miller, our unanimous number one female basketball player of all time. Pierre. Time flies when you're having lots of fun. Before you know it, you're back on the run. Straight up.
Well, you could have been a New Edition, man. I'm telling you.
Show you right. You know I used to sing backup for the stylistics, right? For the shot lights, too. I couldn't even get it out. I couldn't even get it out.
Please continue to support the movement. Thank you all so much for continuing to go to banksboy.com, listening to the podcast, looking at the In My Humble YouTube channel to view In My Humble, The Split Decision, Daimeon's blog, my blog. We love you all.